Good evening. On India Decides, election season has well and truly begun. And now the name may have changed. They're calling it the Federal Front, not the Third Front. But Mamata Banerjee is putting her full political weight behind this concept. Today she called out the Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. As sources say, the BJP-JDU marriage in Bihar is now all set for a divorce. Nitish Kumar has asked all MLAs to stay in Patna and cancelled all engagements he has next week. This as LK Advani, back as BJP patriarch, called both Nitish Kumar and Sharad Yadav today, asking them to keep the NDA alliance intact. Symbolically, another powerful Chief Minister, Naveen Patnaik, held a rally in the heart of Delhi today. He's already backed a federal front. But can this ever work, or is it just a mirage in Indian politics?
The Bihar Chief Minister, the most wanted man today. First, Mamata reached out for her new federal alliance.
I gave some appeal through my Facebook that let the non-Congress and non-BJP, the federal front, let's get together for the next parliament election. And I already discussed the matter with Naveen Patnaik ji and Nitish Kumar ji.
Next, Advani called Nitish, stressing the need to stay united. Finally today, the Congress made overtures to Nitish Kumar.
So you're open to it? We are open to all secular parties. We've always said that. Now and in the future.
Mamata Banerjee met Nitish Kumar's senior colleague, who had early virtually said the JDU-BJP alliance was over. But a lot depends on Nitish Kumar's next move. Another senior colleague today attacked Narendra Modi, the BJP's new campaign leader, and his role in the 2002 Gujarat riots.
और जो कुछ गुजरात में हुआ, उसके बाद जो है सरदार पटेल जो है नरेंद्र मोदी को उस कुर्सी पर बैठे रहने देते, कान पकड़ करके उठाकर बाहर फेंक देते. इसलिए सरदार पटेल की छवि को कृपया करके दूषित नहीं करें.
But the feeling may not be mutual for the BJP, that's already at pains to defend its own ally, that's openly making overtures to Mamata Banerjee's idea of a federal government or a third front.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी जो एनडीए को बनाने वाली है, वो चाहेगी कि बिहार में गठबंधन रहे और बिहार के हित में है ये गठबंधन.
But is Mamata Banerjee's plan of a third front or a federal government feasible? She also called Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik, but he's keeping his options open.
Well, it's early days yet. Let's hope for the best. We'll see in the future.
The Congress and the BJP believe a third front can't happen.
Third front जो है इस देश में कभी successful नहीं हुआ.
Third front is a distant dream which never will succeed in a country like India.
The current potential third fronters need other parties. They're all in power in states which together have only 103 seats, and between them they currently hold 52 seats. And with more parties comes the challenge of internal contradictions and a scramble for power. Something that's been the experience in past third front experiments.
Behind me, Mamata Banerjee's office. Like her, other regional parties may be big in their own states, and the combined tally of these regional parties after the elections could throw up a whole new range of permutations and political combinations. But for now, certainly with elections round the corner, it is open season to make new friends and modify old ties. With Kate Angre in Delhi, in Kolkata, Monideepa Banerjee, NDTV.
Well, joining me now, representatives of the two main parties, the two main alliances, and also two representatives of possibly a third front. Mamata Banerjee's TMC already making it clear what they want. I'm joined by Sukhendu Shekhar Rao of the TMC. I'm also joined by Uday Singh of the BJP MP from Bihar. He's hoping that Nitish, of course, will stay. And I'm also being joined by Abhishek Singhvi of the Congress. I'll be joined by Sabir Ali of the Janata Dal United, a Rajya Sabha MP. Uday Singh ji, over to you first. Nitish Kumar sending out very clear signals today, more and more voices coming out from his party today criticizing Mr. Modi. Is the alliance in Bihar now virtually over between the BJP and the Janata Dal United?
Sonia, I hope not, but it's both astonishing and satisfying for us to see how rattled people are getting at the name of just Mr. Modi heading the election campaign committee of the BJP. It almost seems that everybody is getting a complex, I don't know for what reason, that Mr. Modi is going to overshadow the entire political scene. I mean, this is an internal matter of the BJP to announce a person to head the election campaign committee. We have not announced him as the NDA leader, which is the prerogative of the NDA, and therefore all the rhetoric that we are hearing from Patna and from Delhi, from some of the JDU leaders, in language that is really not to be used for senior members of their alliance partners, it is very distressing.
Are you talking specifically about Shivanand Tiwari? Are you talking specifically about Shivanand Tiwari and the allusion he made to Sardar Patel?
I'm talking of Mr. Shivanand Tiwari and the Agriculture Minister in Bihar, Mr. Narendra Singh. They have no business whatsoever to talk in this kind of a language. We have been extremely deferential whenever we address any of their leaders, and that is how it should be in politics, especially amongst alliance partners. After all, they must not forget that they have made no formal announcement. Our desire to keep the coalition going can be seen from the fact that none other than Mr. Lal Krishna Advani today telephoned Mr. Nitish Kumar and Mr. Sharad Yadav, telling them that it is an imperative that we stick together in the NDA to make sure that the UPA is out of power and that the NDA comes and gives this country a much needed stable government. I don't know what their hurry or what their desperation is to behave in the manner that they are.
The hurry can be explained quite simply perhaps by the fact that Nitish Kumar just suffered a defeat in a crucial by-election to Lalu Prasad Yadav, and the worry with minority votes. Abhishek Singhvi coming here, the Congress looking, some would say, for political capital here, looking for crucial support, with Kamal Nath making the point that you all would welcome any secular support, moves already on for a special package to be granted to Bihar. How far will the Congress go to reach out to Nitish Kumar, given that Mamata Banerjee has already made the first move?
Let me make it clear at the outset that the Congress stands or falls on its own good work, and there is certainly absolutely no question of looking for crutches or looking with glee or otherwise looking at other parties. That's point one, and we ultimately will go with our own program. Second, however, if something is thrust upon the nation, whether it's a tragi-comic farce or whatever in the last few days, well then you are bound to have different people in different parties making comments on them. As far as the NDA and the BJP is concerned, to an extent it is an internal matter of theirs. It doesn't matter whether I comment on it or not. But since you asked us, I think two or three things are very clear. There are two kinds of the erstwhile NDA. One is that which cannot stomach Mr. Modi in any leadership form, even within the BJP and certainly not within the NDA. That group would comprise both the Patnaiks and the Nitish Kumars. Another group, the Badals and the Shiv Sena, would accept it. Now, it is for the BJP to work out this contradiction. I think it's very good that somebody in the BJP will be upfront and say, look, we will have Modi at any cost. We'd like the NDA to continue with us, but if they don't, we can't help it. Or the NDA saying that, look, we can't continue with Mr. Modi. Instead of a hypocritical approach, which suggests that, you know, Mr. Modi makes a creeping movement ahead, because today it is very clear, both to the Nitish Kumars and the Patnaiks and a few others, that this is the first step to Mr. Modi's anointment.
Though of course,
and they are therefore consistent with their past practice and statements. They are simply repeating their apprehension.
Though of course,
if things go as they are today, it is inevitable.
Though of course, Mr. Singhvi, what you're leaving out is that both Nitish Kumar and Naveen Patnaik have made equally scathing comments against Rahul Gandhi and the Congress leadership, and that's why I'm going to bring in Shukendra Shekhar Rao of the TMC, because the point being made by Mamata Banerjee, Nitish Kumar, Naveen Patnaik is that in a sense that we want to be equidistant from the UPA and the NDA. Neither is palatable to us. The current leadership of both parties is not palatable to us in a sense. Mr. Modi perhaps his future and the current leadership of the UPA. Mr. Shekhar Roy, do you think that the regional parties will stick to the stand, or as the left has pointed out earlier, Mr. Prakash Karat made the point that numerically we have the numbers, but political opportunism is the bane of any potential third front or federal front. Can you all actually stick together? We saw what happened in the presidential elections when you couldn't cobble together a majority even then to elect your candidate.
You have put so many questions to me. It is very difficult to reply in one sentence or two sentences, but I would like to add that so far the CPIM is concerned, actually the politics of opportunism that they have shown, perhaps no other political party in this country has ever shown, because it was they were against tooth and nail against the Congress. At one point of time, they used to characterize Congress as fascist forces, and suddenly they changed their stand and they supported the UPA government from outside, and then again on the so-called issue of civil nuclear cooperation agreement, they withdrew support. Now again secret parleys are going on in New Delhi between the two party leaders. So I am not on that. What Mamta ji has said, she has requested the regional party leaders to come forward and to forge an alliance to emerge for emergence of a federal alliance, because India is confronted with an era of alliance. There cannot be any single party rule in this country. Sri Manusek Abhishek Singh ji has right now stated that Congress does not require any crutch, but for the past few decades, Congress is depending on different regional political parties and BJP too. And why we are disillusioned with both UPA and NDA, because the people of this country are absolutely disillusioned with the performance of both the Congress-led UPA and the BJP-led NDA. After 5 decades of single rule by Congress, and then again 9-year rule of UPA.
Of course, Mr. Shekhar Roy, recent state elections have not shown entirely that you've had votes for the BJP and for the Congress in Karnataka, the BJP in the state election before that.
Yes,
so the recent state results don't entirely show that. Let me just bring in Abhishek Singhvi on the point. Given opinion polls, given the fact that if you just go by arithmetic, the regional parties, if they come together, can add up to a front which may numerically be larger than either a Congress-led alliance or a BJP-led alliance. Are you worried? Is the Federal Front an idea whose time has come in 2014?
Firstly, I never meant or suggested that we can make necessarily and obviously and inevitably a government of our own without coalition. I think the coalition era is here to stay, and I didn't mean that at all. What I meant was that a coalition era still goes around a basic pole of a national party along with other parties. I think that is the position, because although people may be disillusioned with incumbent governments, even with the UPA and certainly with the NDA when they were thrown out, the disillusionment with the so-called third front is much more. That's the reality. Today it is the biggest discredited institution which has ever been seen in Indian politics. So I think people would like to rally around a coalition led as far as possible either by a national party or by a party which has largely a national pan-Indian footprint. Now, obviously this will depend on the election results, but I think that the Congress offers a far larger magnet, so to say, to attract people to it than the BJP does. The BJP was there with 23 parties. We also had a coalition of almost 23-24 parties. The BJP is down now considerably, and we are hoping that those who are regional parties will definitely be attracted much more to the UPA than to the NDA.
Let me just get in Uday Singh, because I think in a sense the BJP is clearly ready to take that the Modi impact, as it were, that may be polarizing, as Abhishek Singhvi indicated, but it also may bring you more seats than it would with any other leader at the helm of the campaign. Do you think the BJP must take that gamble now?
Lost you.
Could you hear, Mr. Uday Singh, just to repeat that question, do you feel that Mr. Abhishek Singhvi making the point that the UPA alliance is much more attractive or less repellent, as he puts it, perhaps of the NDA would be with Mr. Modi at the helm, but do you feel that the BJP must take the gamble, that the positive impact of having Mr. Modi on is worth the effect that it may have on driving away any allies at the JDU, that the pros are worth much more than the cons?
Sonia, even if I agree with what Abhishek ji just said, that Congress probably offers a larger footprint, let him not forget that Congress is much more discredited also. And therefore, the larger the footprint with this kind of a discredit to their name, it will work to their disadvantage. When it comes to Mr. Modi, look, we did our homework properly. The party leadership did its homework properly. Today, the popular mood in the country seems to be that they would require somebody like Mr. Modi to lead the BJP into the election campaign, and we are very hopeful that we will keep our coalition with JDU intact. We are hopeful that the NDA will go into this battle as is today, and every party will do its best to get the maximum number of seats that we can, and we are sure to go over the 272 mark and offer this country a good, clean, stable government for the next 5 years, starting 2014 or earlier, whenever the Congress decides to call the polls.
And we talked about Mr. Singhvi's point. Let me just get in Mr. Shekhar Roy on that. The fact is that the TMC has allied with both the NDA government and the UP at the past. Naveen Patnaik also has allied with the BJP, even though he says he's equidistant now. In case the NDA, you're saying the UP is discredited, in case the NDA or the BJP gets some kind of a respectable majority, would you ally with the BJP with Mr. Modi leading it? Mr. Roy?
Yes, the question is to me.
Yes.
No, we have, our leader has already stated that we want a federal front having equidistance from Congress and BJP both. You see, and we are looking in the political horizon a silver lining for that, because the present situation is ideal situation for emergence of a federal front, and so-called national parties, their existence are decaying very fast everywhere in the country. You look at the states, majority of the states are run by the regional parties, not by the national parties. Therefore, it is high time that the regional for the alliance and lead the country to the expectations and aspirations of the people. The majority of the states is not led by regional parties, sir. The majority of the states is not led by regional parties.
The major party. You look at the east, you look at the south, you look everywhere, barring a few states, everywhere there are regional parties, dominant regional parties, they are ruling the state.
Mr. Shekhar Roy, but one key point when you say federal front, usually a third front idea was always mooted by the left. Now this so-called federal front, leaving out the BJP, leaving out the Congress, and what about the left? Where does Mamata Banerjee stand on that in this so-called federal front? Do you completely leave them out?
Now, it is better that you ask the left front that whether they will leave Congress party with whom they are having the secret parleys for forging another alliance in the near future.
But will Mamata Banerjee accept a front which the left may be part of?
We have repeatedly said, Sonia, that we will maintain equidistance from both Congress and BJP. The question of left front does not arise because they are the opportunistic alliance, and our experience in Bengal so far left front is concerned, it is a party of murderers, and it is popularly known as the criminal party of India murderers.
Okay, so you're saying equidistance from BJP and Congress and the left a party of murderers. Abhishek Singhvi, go ahead.
Left is insignificant.
Yes.
To us,
I want to point out two.
Yes.
I want to point out two very interesting contradictions. If you do this analysis, I mean, of course, you know, we're not really into tutu meme here because it's a matter of election. But let's do an analysis of two very interesting contradictions. One is that you see, it is not. Earlier it was the BJP and the NDA. Today you are now talking, in theory, of a Modi-led BJP / Modi role in NDA. Now I want to ask you a question, Sonia. Do you see any of the following parties whom I am naming, even post-election, given their profile, given their electoral support, given the profile of their constituencies, given their mass-based support, supporting a Modi-led dispensation in any form? Even post-election, assuming Mr. Modi gets good votes. The parties are Mulayam Singh Yadav in UP, even Mamata Banerjee in Bengal. Remember a profile of votes in West Bengal. Patnaik in Odisha. Even I would say Mayawati in UP. Nitish Kumar in JDU. And I can name a few more. Mr. Abdullah in National Conference. Even post-elections, there is an inherent contradiction between Mr. Modi, BJP, NDA and these 7 parties I've named. Now let us look at another interesting contradiction. They are talking of a federal front. Federal, of course, is a very apologetic synonym for third front. It's just a, incarnation to make it look a little better and sound a little better. Can you imagine a federal front where already the two principal constituents cannot possibly be in the same front? namely the left parties and TMC.
So
cannot be.
In that
huge
sense,
chunk is out.
So in that sense, ironically, Uday Singh, if you can come in on that point, because really what many political observers have pointed out is that the BJP over the last 2 or 3 days has failed, has actually scored so many self-goals, because in a sense, even a weakened UPA government seems complacent by what Abhishek Singhvi is pointing out, the analysis of the contradictions of a so-called federal front and the contradictions emerging within the BJP with the fiasco over the last 2 days. Has the BJP scored a self-goal which it will be very hard to recover from?
What about the contradiction in Congress?
But has the BJP failed to capitalize on that? That's the point.
Congress is an absorbing party.
Everybody knows what is going on in Delhi. You have so many contradictions, Mr. Abhishek Singhvi.
No, I just wanted, Mr. Roy, I wanted to get Uday Singh to... Yes, I agree with you on the contradictions in the Congress, but has the BJP failed to capitalize and this whole point on the left? Go ahead, Uday Singh.
Sonia, there is no contradiction in the BJP. Yes, Mr. Lal Krishna Advani was temporarily upset about something. It has been sorted out. As far as the third front is concerned, it will remain an ever-present myth. It's a mirage. It can never really take shape. But every time pre-elections, there is this great talk about a federal front, left front, whatever you call it. There cannot be an alternative in this country except those which are led either by the Congress party or the BJP. And this time round, the country's mood is absolutely clear and certain. It will be a government led by the BJP of the NDA, and you will have a first-class government working for the country 2014 onwards for 5 years. Take my word for it, please.
So despite the humiliation heaped by JDU leaders on the BJP, on the comments they're making on a man who's at the head of your campaign committee, the BJP will stomach it.
The BJP is absolutely committed. There is no question about our going back or our having a rethink. We have done our due diligence. We have done our thinking. We have announced at the National Executive that Mr. Modi will lead our election campaign committee. There is no question of resigning from that. And we just hope and pray that the JDU begins to see reason. They must not confuse this with Mr. Modi having been announced as the NDA's leader. That is something that the NDA leaders will sit together and decide at a later date. So let the JDU not make this an misunderstand. Will lead the election campaign committee of the BJP. That is how things are and will remain so.
Mr. Shekhar Roy, final words from you.
One thing that what appears from the comments made by Singhvi and the BJP leader, that when the regional parties, they become the constituents of either UPA or NDA, then they are very good. Otherwise, they are untouchable.
We never said you are untouchables, not at all. We greatly respect you, your party, your leader. There is no question of untouchable.
In the event of a hung parliament, after the forthcoming election, if you just think of a situation that if Congress or BJP cannot lead a front to run the government, then what will be the situation? There cannot be a void in the politics.
And who
this is why
Sonia,
it is high time for the regional parties
to give us a hung parliament now.
With a federal front to lead the country in the right direction.
And who can become the Prime Minister? That is what thrown up the whole sweepstakes of Kaun Banega Pradhan Mantri will be the key thing.
When we'll reach, when we'll reach the river, we'll decide how to cross the river.
Well, what's interesting is that we can see election season well and truly on. Mamta Banerjee, Nitish Kumar speaking, and Nitish Kumar, as I said, all sources telling us that break may happen sooner rather than later, as soon as next week. Let's see how that develops. So thank you very much, Abhishek Singhvi, Uday Singh and Sukhendu Shekhar Roy for joining us tonight. Let's move to our other big story. Forget China. The United States of America is now the country which is spying on the world. In astonishing disclosures by a 29-year-old